Christmas is here and it is the perfect time to start making family home videos. If you are ready to spice up your home videos a little bit, I have some tips and tricks for you now. Let me show you a little video that we just made at the Christmas tree farm that we went to at the beginning of the year, and let's work off of that and talk about some of the simple elements that you can add into your videography to spice it up and turn it into something cinematic. The whole point of making these videos is just to have something to hold on to and look back on, and to see that life indeed was very good, because we all feel as parents and as caregivers like we were in the trenches sometimes. So when it is good and when it is the seasons, when it is the holidays, I love to document it, because looking back on it later, instead of remembering the hard times, it really helps me to be grateful for the good times. So we are going to document all the hard work that moms and dads and caregivers put into making the Christmas season very magical. That being said, your home videos don't have to be these huge productions. I just use my iPhone and an editing program on my computer. You probably already have everything that you need in order to make a home video. But let me break it down into a few elements to just simplify it a little bit. My first tip for making a home video is just to choose an activity and film that. Sure, you could save every video that you took from December, but that can get really overwhelming to edit. If you're just starting out and you know you want to capture some memories, make it very short and make it very simple. Today we're going to be decorating gingerbread houses, and I'm going to take a lot of footage of that and throw it together with some music, and then we have a little Christmas video. All right, my second piece of advice: hold your camera steady. If you cannot do that and you know that you're gonna move around way too much, I got the tripod that I'm using right now off of Amazon for $12. It's so cheap, it came the very next day. And if you wanna up your game a little bit, you could use one of these. This is a gimbal and it has a built-in stabilizer. So when you turn it on, give it a second, you can film in portrait, but I always film in landscape because of YouTube and Facebook videos. Plus, you just get a lot more on the screen right there. This thing is so neat, and it was around $80. So this is for the ones who are a little bit more looking to fancify their videos. But this thing, if you're going to the zoo, if you're going to a birthday party and you know you're gonna be walking and moving a whole bunch, this is the ticket right here, because no matter what you do, this is gonna have a much more stable video. If you don't have a tripod and you're going to something like right now today and you're worried about holding it steady, then you need to learn the art of stacking your camera on something and leaning it up against that one thing. If you can't hold it steady, try to put it down somewhere that makes sense. I like to use books and rocks and stack them up until it's high enough and leaning on something where it's not going to fall over. Speaking of tripods, moms, this one's for you. If your partner or your spouse is not very good at taking videos or forgets to take videos, go ahead and use a tripod and get on the other side of it so that you can prove to your children that you were in fact there at every holiday and every birthday party. It's like this unspoken fact that moms are rarely in pictures. So this is your opportunity to have somebody hold the camera for you so that you can prove to your kids, Mom was there and I tried my best to make your life magical. Now there's going to be a lot of things in this video that are kind of like you could do it if you wanted to, but you don't have to. But this one is almost a must-have. You've got to have the right lighting, and it needs to be bright lighting. So in this room, even though you can't tell, I have lamps that are putting more light in this room so that I can get the cinematic effect on my iPhone to work correctly, and so that I can use slow motion. If you try to film in slow motion and the room is dark, have you ever noticed that the video shakes? And that is just because you don't have enough light going in for the shutter speed of the camera. Okay, so you have everything set up. You've got your camera, you've got your tripod, you've got your lights. Now it's time to start filming. I shoot for at least 30 seconds on something, but probably not much more than 1 whole minute unless I'm doing a time lapse. And that is because when I'm editing, I change the frame to only last 7 seconds, maybe even less. Our attention spans aren't that long. And so if you're trying to make something interesting, I tend to cut the footage into 7-second intervals at least, and sometimes throw in a time lapse, but in general, I only need to hold my camera up and get about a 30-second shot. Don't use much more than that because editing it will make it very, very laborious. What I'm about to say is probably gonna contradict what I'm gonna say right now, and that is if you didn't get the shot and it was blurry or somebody moved too fast or the lighting wasn't quite right, you can take as many shots as you want to get the perfect video. If you do want it to be cinematic and have an artful effect, then go ahead. Don't feel guilty about saying, hey, can you do that again? Or one more time. Next, I want to talk about one of my favorite things to add into a video, and that is B-roll. B-roll is like extra footage of close-ups and other things that make the video feel very artistic. And so during our gingerbread filming today, I'm probably gonna get close-ups of their hands and slow motion of sprinkles. And it's not necessarily the entire picture, but I wanna zoom in and just notice all the little tiny details. This is a great time to try out using slow motion because it makes it feel so super fancy. So get a lot of B-roll, and I will show you some right here. Did you like the magic? Was it great? So adding little elements like that makes it feel very artistic. Although we are trying to get an organic documentation of a fun family activity, don't be afraid to throw in a prompt to give them some fun ideas. Open up. You ready? Big mouth. I always want to make my kids giggle or get something funny or get something really sweet on camera. So it could be like, oh, could you give her a hug real quick? Or, oh, wouldn't it be funny if you sprinkled the sprinkles right into your mouth or poured the whipped cream on somebody's face? Like just little things like that. So although we are going for organic and natural, don't be afraid to throw in some fun things because the goal is not necessarily to create something fake, although it might seem fake if you had to prompt them to do it. But in 10 years, when you're looking back on this, they're not going to say, oh, that was mom's idea. They're going to say, look how little I was, or look how funny it was when I was missing all my teeth and I smiled, or oh, I remember when we did that, or those kind of things. And so throw in some fun prompts just to make the video a little bit more interesting. The last thing that I want to say is you don't have to have really fun transitions. You don't have to have words on the screen. You don't have to have very expensive background music. All you need to do is take some videos and put them together, and you will be so, so glad that you did. When I had three-year-olds, I felt the days creeping by because I was drowning in toddlers and diapers. And I am so glad for the videos that I took that reminded me of the darling moments that we did have. I did not rejoice in that time of life. It was very, very difficult. But looking back, I realized I had so much to be grateful for.
The llama who had no pajama was troubled and terribly sad. I won't let go. Your mama home with you, so happy.
And I didn't have to manufacture it. I simply took videos of my kids being kids and slapped some music to it. And they have those memories too now. So that is my advice. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our gingerbread making, and I'm gonna be filming in the process. I hope you enjoy our little gingerbread video.